All right, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to watch another video nasty here. This one's called The Man from Deep River, also known as Sacrifice. Let's check it out. All right, this guy on the right is John, played by Ivan Rasimov.
I find it pretty entertaining.
He's the star of our film.
Obviously, I'm not.
A little while later, he's in a bar by himself, and a guy comes at him with a knife. He turns the tables on him. Then he has to flee.
$2.
Into the jungles of Thailand.
I give you word of advice. You only travel river to An when it is wide.
Anyway, he's a photographer, and he's taking pictures, underwater pictures of fish.
Better get my breath back.
Later on, he takes a nap, and when he wakes up, his guide, Tuan, is gone.
Where the devil are you, Tuan?
Well, he finds his hat and then his body in the water. He's captured by a tribe. They end up stringing him up, and obviously this is a cannibal movie, so you assume these are cannibals, but turns out they're not. And I'm not sure what these poor fellows did, but they get their tongues cut out for it. Now, the hot chick of the tribe is Mariah. She's about to be married off to one of the other tribesmen, but she tries to get him to eat.
Child, missionary child.
He finds someone who speaks English.
By villagers in jungle. No one here know.
Anyway, John spends most of his time trying to escape, and when he does, he always gets beat up for it. This time they're going to kill him.
Be quick. Go now.
The lady lets him know when's a good time to try to escape again. And this time he's able to do it. But they catch up with him again. But this time, John's not going down without a fight. Now, I believe he's fighting the guy who's going to be marrying Mariah. And he gets a lucky blow in there. And they then take John back, tie him up, and throw darts at him. Later on, one of the kids in the tribe is suffering from diphtheria. John tries to get rid of the medicine man, see if he can help him himself. Anyway, John works his white magic. I guess he must have some sort of medical training. And although we don't really get... So Mariah needs a new husband, and they basically create a glory hole, which guys can come in and put their arms in and touch her and feel her up, and can guess who made her the happiest. Anyway, then they sort of have an 80s love montage as they frolic through the bushes and flowers along with great music.
My husband, I'm loving you.
I love you.
Child, witch doctor make child strong.
He knocked her up.
It'll be a boy. 6 months since the tribe accepted me. And now I'm enjoying a way of life I could never even have imagined.
But there's also a bad tribe nearby. And they're coming to take a visit, and I can't show you what they're about to do to this lady. And when they're done using her, they eat her. We finally see some cannibals. Anyway, John's tribe captures the bad tribe, or the cannibal tribe, I should say, that he cringed at earlier. And for no reason whatsoever, Mariah loses her eyesight.
My eyes, much pain inside.
My attempt to take it to civilization had failed, and there was nothing more I could do. The tribe wouldn't permit it. Mariah was destined to die.
One day the cannibal tribe comes by and lights this place on fire. Battle ensues. Mariah does give birth to their son. A few moments later,
Mariah.
life goes on, and when a helicopter comes overhead, which is probably looking for him, rather than flying him down to go back to civilization, he decides to stay with. All right, let's talk about this movie, Man from Deep River, also known as Sacrifice. This is another video nasty. I've never seen this one before until today. And this is one that is sometimes credited as being like the first cannibal movie, or at least the first cannibal movie that inspired all the other ones that were to come. Based on the stuff that came in the later 70s and late 70s and early 80s, it's very, very tame, actually. There's not a ton of gore. There's not a ton of cannibalism. There's not a ton of nudity. It's an odd little film because it's almost like a love story drama that just happens to take place in the jungles of Thailand. We have a guy named John who at the beginning of the film is in a bar, and a guy comes at him with a knife. He's able to stop the guy, turn the knife around, and stab that guy and presumably kill him. Well, at that point, he takes off running and decides, well, maybe I'm on the run now. He's got to hide, even though it seemed like it was almost self-defense. But whatever, he decided to flee. And he decides to go deep into the jungle. He rents a boat with a guide, and he's a photographer, so he wants to go take pictures, underwater photos of fish, as you do. So anyway, he takes a nap one day after coming out of the water, and his guide is gone, and he finds the guide's body in the water, goes to check it out, and then he gets captured by this native tribe somewhere deep in the jungle. Well, you assume he's going to get eaten and stuff, but it turns out this tribe isn't cannibals. They're just a tribe, and not sure what exactly they wanted to do with John, but they end up using him basically as slave labor. Now, there's this chick there named Mariah, played by the actress Mimi Lay, and I've had a couple other movies that she was in, a couple of cannibal movies, Eaten Alive she was in, and Au Pair Girls, she was in that one too. Has no problem taking her clothes off, and she does so many times in this movie as well. Well, she's engaged, well, she's basically betrothed to this other tribesman, but the other tribesman gets into a fight with John. They're in a battle with each other, and John actually kills him. At that point, she's a free agent and decides she needs to have a new man. So, in what I can only describe as a glory hole, she's inside of this hut, and they cut a hole in the wall, and she's naked, and the guys of the tribe, John included, get to put their hands inside the big hole and feel her up, feel her boobs, feel her crotch, that sort of thing, and whoever titillates her the most is who she's going to choose as her new husband, and it turns out to be John. Well, they frolic around, and they become husband and wife. She gets pregnant. And the next thing you know, though, she loses her eyesight around the same time that this other tribe decides to attack them. Not them, the whole tribe. There's a tribe nearby, and they are, in fact, cannibals. They attack and assault this one woman, then they eat her right afterward. And then later on, they come and burn John's village, and then again there's just a battle between the two tribes, which is not much of a battle really, and there's not a big war. There's not a ton of people fighting, but the good guys win out. But unfortunately, Mariah, again, she's blind. She never regains her sight, and she ends up dying shortly after giving birth to their son. Well, then, sometime after, I'm not sure, maybe a couple days, couple weeks, whatever, a helicopter flies overhead and everybody scatters. And John, you think he's going to flag them down to come rescue him because he thinks the helicopter's looking for him, but he decides just to go hide in the bushes with the rest of the tribe, and this is where he's going to spend the rest of his life, I guess. That is Sacrifice, aka Man from Deep River. Now, again, an odd little film because there's not a whole lot of cannibalism. In fact, there's only one scene that I recall where those cannibals were eating that woman's arm. Not a lot of gore. There's a couple of tongues cut out. There is some actual animal footage, at least I assume animal footage of animals being killed and butchered. Well, a lot of these cannibal films featured stuff like that. I'm not sure why, but they did. And I could have been special effects, but I don't think it was. There was more animal. I don't want to say there's more animals killed than people, but there's not a ton of either that are killed. But I think there was also like a cockfight going on, and a mongoose versus a cobra. A goat was slaughtered. An alligator, a little alligator. I don't know why they put those things in these movies, but they do. But the movie itself was directed by Umberto Lenzi and starring Ivan Razumov. And again, Mimi Lay did some exploitation films in the early 70s. Don't know what happened to her, but didn't see much of her after that decade. But that's pretty much it. A little bit of gore, a little amount of nudity, mostly just Mimi Lay. But it's actually not a bad film. It's just an odd film because it's more of a love story, more of a drama than it is cannibal stuff. But again, I guess it's inspired, they took it to the next level. did the Cannibal directors from a little later on. So there you go. It's The Man from Deep River. It was a video nasty, although honestly, I don't think, well, maybe with all the animal stuff it could be, but whatever. It's rather, other than the animal stuff, it's rather tame by today's standards. So anyway, check it out. Leave some comments. This is a DVD. There is a Blu-ray out there as well. I don't have that, just got the DVD. Check it out, leave some comments. I'll leave a link to it down below, and you should buy this one because it's an interesting film. Check it out, leave some comments, watch it. Man from Deep River. Bye.